It's the question every sports fan is asked at some point in their lives. Why the hell do we even have commissioners? Okay, so the office of commissioner started with baseball. You can blame them the next time Roger Goodell does something stupid. And we need to look at the old system, which was created in the National Agreement of 1903 and was headed up by a national commission. Said commission was comprised of the president of the National League, the president of the American League, and a chairman, basically meant to be a tiebreaker. This worked rather well until the Black Sox scandal came along. For those unaware, the 1919 Black Sox scandal involved 8 players for the Chicago White Sox that may or may not have intentionally lost the World Series. Now, you're probably wondering, why? Well, you gotta understand, this was a different time in sports. There was no player union, there were no multi-million-dollar contracts. Most professional athletes had off-season jobs, such as pumping gas or coal mining. Jackie Robinson sold TVs. Yogi Berra, Hall of Famer, one of the greatest catchers to play the game, sold hardware for Sears. To give you an idea, Babe Ruth was the highest paid player in 1918 with a salary of $7,000, or about $120,000 in today's money. Imagine the highest paid athlete who was paid significantly more than his counterparts, making $120,000 a season. Plus, you couldn't leave a team without permission from the team's owner, and whatever contract was offered was the only contract offer you got. If you were a top star but your team wanted to pay you peanuts, like the White Sox did, you were pretty much screwed. And this is where organized crime comes in, because this is always where organized crime comes in. So we've got a bunch of cash-strapped players looking to make some extra money, and you had some less than savory characters that handled the local gambling who, and I know this is shocking to some, were looking to make money too. It also didn't help that the White Sox locker room was split between players based on, well, we'll say level of morality. Unfortunately for said players, word had leaked out to some that the series might be fixed, and it was watched by most baseball officials rather closely. It was a best-of-9 series, and after losing Game 5, the players began to grow tired of the gamblers because they wanted to withhold the players' payouts until after the series was thrown, rather than going with the after each game payout that had been agreed to. So the White Sox won Games 6 and 7 before threats of violence were brought upon the players and their families, so they lost the next game and the series and received their payments, which were about $75,000 in today's money. And those rumors of a fix, yeah, those did not go away. In September of 1920, a grand jury began to hear the case, and it became national news. This did not sit well with the owners, of course. They already weren't big fans of the current system, and there was damn near a mutiny going on in the American League at that point, and so they turned to this man, Kennesaw Mountain Landis, a former federal judge, a baseball fan, and an all-around no-nonsense kind of guy. He really fit the mold because though he was a baseball fan, he had no connections to the league itself. Landis would only come on board if he was given total control for life, and the teams weren't too keen on that idea, but they were also in a pickle, so they pretty much gave him unlimited powers. Basically, imagine the genie from Aladdin, but more a crabby old man, and the powers were only over baseball. But when it came to baseball decisions, he was God. When he took office in 1921, his first act was to ban all 8 men accused in the scandal, even though a jury trial had found them not guilty, and that ban still stands to this day. He was commissioner for 25 years, acting as a George Washington of sorts, in that he established the office and its powers. By the way, Landis was not for integrating black and white players, and he was a big reason for baseball keeping the color line. In fact, it wasn't until almost a year after his death that the first black player was signed to a major league team. As far as the other leagues jumping onto the commissioner train, the NFL did it in 1941, the NBA in 1967, though the creation of these two roles had more to do with wanting power over other rival leagues and helped actually to lead to the eventual merging of the NFL and AFL as well as the NBA and ABA. So not created because of scandals. Hell, the NHL, even though it was created in 1917, didn't establish a commissioner role until 1993. Major League Soccer established their commissioner the same year, even though they were founded in 1993. But let's be honest here, if there's a professional sport that doesn't need a commissioner to keep the house rules, it's hockey.